Differences between mean and standard deviation. Mean versus standard deviation. Mean of a dataset is found by adding all numbers in the dataset and then dividing by the number of values in the set. Whereas, standard deviation is the measure of the dispersion of the data values from the mean. The purpose of the mean is to provide a measure of central tendency which allows researchers to summarize and understand the average value of a set of data points. Whereas, the purpose of standard deviation is to measure the variability of data and frequently employ it to determine the volatility and risk of stocks. The synonyms of mean are average or average score or mathematical average, whereas the synonym of standard deviation is root mean square deviation. Mean tells us what the average value is, whereas standard deviation tells us what the average scatter of values is around the mean. Mean is used to measure the average, whereas standard deviation is used to measure the variability or dispersion in data. Formula of population mean and sample mean are given for comparison, whereas formula of population standard deviation and sample standard deviation are given for comparison. Mean measures the average of stock by assessing the fundamental attribute of a stock, whereas standard deviation measures the volatility of the stock over a certain period of time. Mean is used to judge the performance of a company's stock price over a long period, whereas investors use standard deviation to measure the volatility of a stock. Mean is important because statisticians refer mean as the central location of a distribution. Mean is the most popular and well-known measure of central tendency. It can be used with both discrete and continuous data, whereas standard deviation is important because standard deviation is crucial in statistics and data analysis for understanding the variability of a dataset. Standard deviation can help us to identify trends, assess data reliability, detect outliers, compare datasets, and evaluate risk. A high standard deviation indicates a larger spread of values. In short, mean is the total sum of values in a sample divided by the number of values in your sample. For example, to figure out a grade at the end of a course, you calculate the mean of all of your test scores. Mean measures the center of a set of data values. For continuous data, the mean is the average of the data values, whereas standard deviation is a measure of how dispersed the data in relation to the mean. The standard deviation can never be negative. Standard deviation plays a vital role in finance as it is used to measure the volatility of a stock. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel Thesis Helper. Thanks for watching.